The next chart we discuss is the pie chart essentially, and pie charts are interesting charts which give you sort of a proportion of something in terms of where does the proportion of, let's say, grand total comes from. So if we are looking at sales across the months, how is it spread out across the months and what is the proportion of those sales? If we are looking at sales across the regions, then what is the proportion of sales coming from those regions? So in this particular data set that we have, we could look at two kinds of charts that are available for us that could be created. Let's look at both of them as we go along. Two kinds of pie charts. One of the pie charts could be on, let's say, Asia as a region across the 6 months. The other could be the total of all the regions for the 6 months combined, or any of the months combined. We could look at that. So let's first take Asia across the 6 months, select this data and click on insert. And the third in the column, first column that you see, this is the pie chart. So you select the pie chart, click on a 2D pie, and we select what is the 2D pie here. Right now we drag it downwards so that becomes easier for us to kind of look at and see this. Now, so we have Asia's breakup over all these periods. Now, in the case of a pie chart, it's actually relatively easy to kind of add chart elements here. On the left hand top, under the design tab in charts tool, you see this add chart element. You could add data labels, and it gives you an option to put data labels either in the center, inside end, outside the data, outside the pie that you see, best fit, and a data callout. Data callout automatically converts this in terms of percentages. So let's put this on the inside end. Let's select all these. Let's change the color of all this to white, embolden it. So that's the data that we have as of now. Now I can right click it and click on format data labels. What I see on the right hand side is value as of now. I can click on percentage as well. So it adds the percentages there. I can actually remove the value and just look at the percentages, which basically says how much of the sales came in Asia in which month. So essentially 23% of the sales for Asia were contributed in the month of June, right? Rest of the stuff remains similar. You could essentially take this legend, click on this, put it on the top, put it on the right like this. You could select the individual sets and kind of, and take the data labels, and if you want, you could kind of put them at the outside end. Obviously, because the font color is white, it goes off, but we can change it to black color outside this. And look at this. We could essentially try and put the series name here as well. That's not really relevant. Category name could be put in, which says Jan, Feb, March, so that we automatically know. If we put in the category name, we can actually remove the legend itself, and then you have Jan, Feb, March, April, May, June available here as the pie chart itself, right? Rest of the functions remain the same. You could take the title and kind of embolden it, color it in a different fashion, and so on and so forth that you're looking at, right? What kind of pie charts are available? You can select this, click on design, and change the chart type. Within pie chart, you could have a 3D pie chart, which is essentially available, creates a sort of a three-dimensional view. You can look at this, which makes it more readable in terms of your 3D chart that is available. So there are a variety of functionalities which are available, or predefined data sets. For example, you could create this, which looks like a tablet essentially on a three-dimensional format and gives you the data pretty clearly. You can once again go and realign the format data label set, and let's say you want to remove the categories, you want to show it on the inside end, you can do that. Instead of percentages, you could show the values essentially, right? So you could add the chart element, data labels, let's say inside end, and these are the values that are available for us. So that's the kind of data set that is available. You could also create a pie chart which is of this kind of a format. Now, essentially, this may not be very relevant here, but may be useful in certain cases at various points of time. What this does is essentially kind of adds up the data and then gives you where is the sales coming for those particular couple of months from May and June essentially, and combines May and June and gives the data for that. You could You could look at again May and June getting combined if you want to focus on only two of the months. Look at this where it combines May and June sales to 140 and 180 and makes it 320 and then shows where is the sales for the last 2 months coming from. And there is something called as a donut chart as well, which could be created like this. So it's a form of a pie chart, but essentially you're representing it in the form of a donut. And that's the beauty of the pie chart that can come in. That's one kind of a pie chart that we have created. There's another one that could be created here. For that, we'll need to do a little bit of a jugglery in terms of selection of data. Let's say now we want the total sales to be selected. So I will press select all the four regions and then select the total sales by pressing a control button. So if you press the control key, then you can select these two separately, and then you go and insert a pie chart once again. And now you see out of the total sales, where does the total sales come from? Once again, let's add the chart label on the inside end, and or let's put it to a best fit. We find this here. We can embolden it. We can change the font color to white. And now when you format data labels, it might be relevant to show the percentages here. So you see 33% comes from Asia, 21% from Europe, 30 from the third one should be Africa. I think there's a repetition of Asia that has come here, so I'll put that as Africa, and about 16% from Latin America, which is what the data is available here in the final column where we had calculated the percentages: 33% Asia, 21% Europe, 30% Africa, and about 16% Latin America that we have, right? So the pie chart can get created as this. You could rename it as total sales. Once again, similar yardsticks could be applied. You could essentially format it in any of the pre-designed formats which are available. You could change the colors which are available for the chart. So you could use them in single colors, you could use them in multiple colors, you could shade them separately based on whatever the color set choices are available. And you can always create the same chart in the form of a 3D chart that is available to us, right? So we can select a 3D chart, create it in the form of a tablet once again, percentages and values, and in this I can add in, let's say, millions, and I can actually click on this format data labels, add the category name here itself. Once we add the category name here itself, you can go and remove the legend essentially, and that gives us how to use the pie chart. See that we have essentially increased the size, and hence this Latin America couldn't fit inside, so it kind of went outside. You could pull it back inside and present the data as it is available, right? So that's how you essentially look at all these data sets and data labels that you can create. We can remove the values and only keep percentages, and that's our final data set in terms of total sales in millions, region wise, across all the months put together. So that's where pie charts are useful. Pie charts again are very useful in finance and in management in general, purely because a proportion of what a company does, sales of a company, portfolio of a particular individual, the proportion could basically come out of this. So for example, that could be used in a variety of other applications as well, which in due course of time we will practice.